Greetings, I'm Barrett, and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. We are going to begin our playthrough of This War of Mine. I've got the board all set up, we've met our characters, now all we have to do is see if we can make them survive. As we play through this first day of This War of Mine, I'm going to be using the rulebook and I'm going to be explaining a lot of the rules as we go. It's going to make kind of a longer playthrough for the first day, but after we get through the first day, all the rest of the days should go so much faster because we're not going to be needing to read each part of the rules. I'm also going to go ahead and throw my disclaimer up, and I'm going to put it in front of all my videos. This game may not be for children. This book of scripts can potentially make us read things that are a little bit hard to take and maybe a little intense. So I just want each and every person to understand that there may be some things that might not be appropriate to children. Now, I have played the video game for This War of Mine, and I'm telling you, the board game is so good. I really enjoy it much more than the video game. Now, don't get me wrong, the video game is good, but the board game is just so much more exciting. I'm excited to show you this game. Do you think our characters are going to have what it takes to get through the first day? To find out, I need you to meet me at the table.
Like a shooting star it came, the denizens remain calm enough. The soul in the western sky came never-ending light. They swallowed up the night and turned their hopeless eyes to sky. Save one, and she walked so slow. She felt the world go, spoke her final words.
We're now going to start our first day. It says, a new day begins. Outside is an outgoing conflict and sniper bullets for us. We cannot leave the safety of our shelter, but there are improvements to be made. We should make this place feel more like home. We can use beds, a stove, even a radio, but first we'll need to clear some space. Hopefully, we might find something useful in all this rubble. So now let's go ahead and take our two actions for our day phase. The first action we're going to take is Katya. She's going to go ahead and she's going to walk up here to the heap. Now when you move around on the board, you don't actually have to count spaces. You can just go wherever you're actually able to get to. So we're going to have Anton come over here and he's going to go ahead and dig through this rubble. So let's take a look at the card. It says dig through. Requires a shovel or two characters. So in order to deal with this card, either two people have to be here or one person and a shovel. We do have a shovel in our storage, so we're going to give it to Anton to go ahead and dig through that rubble. Leaving Boris. Boris is able to get down to the bars, but he doesn't have a saw blade. If we look at the card, it says cut through, requires a saw blade. We don't have that, so we're going to go, we can't, so this card is useless to go to. He could move up to this rubble, but he himself can't take care of the card. There is a locked door. He could deal with this. It says closed door, pick the lock. Requires a lockpick. So we could go ahead and move over there. And we do have a lockpick from our storage, so I think that's our best bet. So he's going to move into there. Our girl's going to stay here. She's totally happy. Now that we've moved our characters to where we want them, we can go ahead and resolve these in any order. We're going to start with Katya. She's going to move back to the guard space, and she's going to resolve this heap card. So what does she find in the heap? Oh, she found an electrical part, a water, that's good, and three components. And it says here on the bottom, add these to the storage and remove this card from the game. So we're going to remove that and gain three components, one water, and we're also going to gain this electrical part. Where if you look at it, it's worth 3 when we trade with it, but it does cost 1 inventory slot, I guess you could say, or weight to carry it around. Next, we're going to have Anton dig through the rubble. He's going to put his shovel back here in the storage area, and we're going to go ahead and resolve our rubble card. It says, rubble remnants, dig through, requires a shovel or 2 characters. I'm going to give you a big hint. All the rubble cards are this. They're exactly the same. You have to dig through twice in order to get to anywhere with a rubble card. So next turn, he's probably going to go do the same thing, and that's really going to be about it. Now, our last person up here, we're going to use the lockpick. The way you'll use lockpicks is you roll a die. On a 1 through 3, he fails. We get to keep the lockpick, though, but we don't get the door open. On a 4 through 6, he is able to open the door, and we lose the lockpick. So let's see what happens. Come on, Boris. Oh, wow, look at that. He's a super lockpicker. All right, he's going to go ahead and lose this. I wish a 10 means you get to keep the lockpick. That'd be really cool. But alas, that is not how it works. We're going to remove that to our token bin, and we're going to put Boris back over here, and we are able to resolve our locked door. Let's see what happens. It says, you gain a mechanical part and 1 wood. Oh, that's good. And then it says, add these to the storage and remove this card from the game. So we're going to gain our mechanical part and our 1 wood. We're going to put them down here in the storage. Now that's our first action. We are now allowed 1 more action with each of our characters. And now we're kind of running out of things to do. We're going to send Anton back over here. He's going to be the shovel man. He's going to go ahead and keep on digging through here. Now, one thing I could do, I could take 2 characters and work on this rubble. That's one option. The other option is one of these people could start building some of our fittings. So let's take a look and see what we could build as I throw them everywhere. All right, we've got some from our orphans deck here. It says build a comfortable bed. Well, I don't know. We'll see what that does. 3 wood and 2 components. That's not too bad. It says during the dawn phase, roll a black die. On a 7 through 10, raise the happiness. Okay. Well, if we had a really unhappy child, not a bad idea. Cardboard fort. Oh, that's a lot of wood. 2 components. After crafting this, increase the happiness by 2 and draw a kid action card. All right. This actually might not be too bad if she starts getting unhappy. I don't have a weapon part, so no bike for you. Make toys. I don't have a book. No toys for you. Okay, these are our cards that we can actually build that are going to help our place. These aren't from the orphans deck anymore, denoted by the color up here. Build a rain water collector. Well, I need a filter, and I don't have that. Build a simple heater. I could do that. Let's take a look at it. I can discard 2 wood or a book to discard 1 cold token. We've got 3 cold tokens. This might not be bad. I'm going to put that over here. I can build an herbal garden. Let's see what that can do. I can create herbs, cigarettes, and meds. Well, I don't really need any of those things, so we're going to go ahead and put that in the not right now pile. I can build a moon still shine, or moonshine still, sorry, moon still shine. I can't read. All right. And that allows us to make moonshine if we want, with sugar, water, and wood. Well, that's not too bad if you need moonshine. I don't really think I have a use for moonshine right off the bat here. I can build a metal workshop. Let's see what that gets us the ability to do. We can make lockpicks, shovels, saw blades, knives, and hatchets, so that's pretty good. But I don't have a lot of these parts. I only have 1 mechanical part, and I'm probably going to have to use it to build this, aren't I? No, I don't. I can build that. And what do I need? A component and a mechanical part to create a lockpick. That's not bad. Well, we'll see. We'll put that. I'm actually going to put that in the no thank pile right now because this bed looks pretty good. 3 components and 4 wood. This is going to be able to lower our fatigue by a character placed here by 2 for taking an action during the day. And that's actually really good because if we can keep our fatigue down, then we also know that we're going to be able to do a lot of different actions during the day. It's going to be that's really good. I'm going to put that right here. That's a strong possibility. A deadfall trap. I don't have the mechanical parts. I can build a workshop. Oh, this one's also really good. Look what I can make. I can make board ups. Board ups are fantastic at getting rid of not only cold, but protecting us at night when people come to try to take our stuff. I could also make mechanical parts and electrical parts. I can make a filter and repair a guitar. All right, these is all really good. I'm going to put that in the maybe pile. I can't build a radio, and I can't build a crude stove. So we're going to go put those back up in the fittings area. We can't build any of those right now. We're going to go ahead and look at these 3. I think we're going to build one of these. We've got the parts. Let's see what we need. 5 components and 3 wood. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here, I'm going to pan down so we can look at our stuff. There we go. That is what we have to use to craft with. So that gives you a better idea of what we have here. So this says we need 5 components and 3 wood. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what? 3, 4, 5 wood? All right. It's not too bad. It'd be almost everything. We could build a bed. That's going to be 3 components and 4 wood. 3 components and 4 wood. We could do that. Or we also could build this workshop. Ooh, I'm liking this workshop a lot. 1 mechanical part, 5 components, and 3 wood. 1 mechanical part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how much wood? 3? 1, 2, 3. Leaving us with 2 and 2. Don't know if that's going to be the best plan. But this is the hard part of the game. I don't know what to build and what not to build to help us survive in this environment. This workshop really gives us an edge in things in the future of what we might want to build to help protect us. But this bed will help us be able to open up more of the house so that we can explore more. I think the workshop is going to win. We're going to go ahead and create this workshop. Now we're going to be able to place this workshop anywhere up here. So let's go ahead and take a look back at the board. But first, let's remove what we need to create this, which is 1 mechanical part, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 components, and 3 wood. Was this the best call? I don't know. Go ahead and tell me in the description, in the comments below, if you thought that was a good idea. Now we can place our workshop in any open area here. Like I can put it here, here, here. I think I put it right there. Now, that's going to be Katya's turn. She's going to go ahead and create that workshop. I actually should have put her there and then decided after we moved all our people. Our last person is Boris. He really doesn't have much to do. I could send him over to the kids' room. Let's look at the kids' room really quick. See what it says here. It says, kids' room, talk and play. Roll the black die and compare the results with the empathy of the character placed here. If a result that is equal to or less than the character's empathy, raise the happiness by 1. Only can be used once per day. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, Boris, I lied to you. You're going over there. Katya's going over here. She's going to go ahead and talk to this kid. We're going to roll our die. She has an empathy of 7. So she needs to roll a 7 or lower, and she's able to gain 1 happiness on our child there. Oh, no, she got a 10. Okay, well, apparently she's never good at talking to kids. So that was pretty much a dead turn. So she and the kid are going to go back over here. Our poor girl did not gain any happiness. Boris built himself a workshop, and we are going to finish digging through our rubble. And that is going to be the end of our 2 actions. And our rubble card says, remove this card from the game. Now the next phase of the game we're going to move into is the dusk phase. We've completed the day phase where all our characters are able to perform actions. Now it says here, the sun has disappeared beneath the horizons. Shadows and darkness now rule over the city. It is a bit safer to go out at this time, but first we must regain some strength. The next part of this is going to be where we eat and drink. So let's go ahead and start with water. Each character must drink 1 water. And once you do, you're going to discard them from the storage. For each character that did not drink water, roll the black die. Well, we're in luck. We have 3 water tokens in our storage. So all 3 of our characters are going to drink. Our girl does not need to drink. It doesn't say on her card anywhere that she needs to drink. It just talks about food. Any character dies or abandons the group, any character suffers wounds during the night raid phase, or any character becomes misery level 3. That's the only way she's going to lose happiness. It doesn't have anything to do with drinking. Next, we're going to move into hunger. So each character should eat 1 or more food. For each food they eat, it shows here what is going to happen to them. If they eat canned food, they lower their hunger by 2. If they eat raw food, they lower their hunger by 1. And if they eat a vegetable, it stays the same. If they eat no food, it raises their hunger by 1. So we're in luck. We have 3 raw food, and all 3 of our characters are going to eat. Our girl is not going to eat, which means she is going to gain or lose, 1 happiness for that. Notice here it says next player. So when we move on to the next part of the game, you would pass this journal to the next player in the group so they'd be making some of the decisions. So for example, if I was in charge of this phase, I could choose to give one of these to the girl if I wanted to, and maybe somebody didn't like that option. But since I'm holding the journal, I would have complete kind of the last say in what the group decides. So now that they ate food, they're going to go from hunger 2 to hunger 1, and they're all going to get 3 actions next turn. So we're going to go ahead and flip our tokens over. Our girl is also going to drop to a 2 misery. Now I don't have a token to symbolize where she is in this track, so we're just going to use another token from another Awakened Realms game, namely Nemesis. We're going to go ahead and put that right there. Next, we're going to go ahead and take our 3 food tokens, and we're going to put them back in our cup with all the rest of our food, so we can find them or get them some other way. Even though these are finite, we can still get them back as long as we keep using them. We just can't ever take tokens out if they're not there. We can't create tokens. And we're also going to take our 3 water and add it to our water container. With the dusk phase complete, we're moving into the evening phase. And it says up here, before nightfall, we must decide who will stay in the shelter to regain strength or guard the door, and who will venture into the ruined city. We can only hope to scavenge some food, meds, and other necessary materials. So we're going to need to assign each character to one of the 4 available tasks. So we could sleep in a bed, but we don't have one. If we did, we'd be able to get our fatigue back to 0. We could also sleep on the floor, where we can place any number of characters on the sleep on the floor space. If we do, we can lower those characters' fatigue by 2. We could also place somebody on guard duty. Place any number of characters on the guard space to defend the shelter from the attacks during the night raid phase. The higher the prowess of the guard, the better. And there must be at least 1 guard on the guard space, otherwise see 333 in the Book of Secrets. And if you do put a person on the guard's duty, you're going to have to raise that character's fatigue by 1. And lastly, we have Scavenging. We can place up to 3 characters on the findings pile space, and I'll show you where that is on the board, to send them to the ruined city during the scavenging phase. The higher the inventory and prowess of a character, the better they'll perform during the scavenging phase. If we do go scavenging, we're going to raise the characters that go by 1 fatigue. And again, we've got that continue to the next player. In this instance, the person that would be in charge of the evening phase would be able to direct where these characters go. And then they would pass the book to the next person for the scavenging phase. So since we're playing solo, I actually do have control over where these people are going to go. So we're going to take Boris. He's going to go out scavenging because he has the most prowess and he also has the most inventory space. We're going to take Katya with us as well in case we find somebody we might be able to trade with. And finally, we're going to leave good old Anton back here on guard duty. We're not going to have anybody sleep this turn because they're all at full fatigue. Our girl, though, she's going to go and sleep on the floor. It doesn't do anything. It's just thematic. She's going to go take a nap because, you know, she's a girl. She needs some sleep. Now that we've laid out our plan for our characters, we're going to give them all 1 fatigue because none of them are going to be resting this turn. They're all going to be out doing something during the nighttime. So there we go. Now, sadly, it does show that we used to be able to do 3 actions when we come back. Now we're down to, again, only being able to do 2 because we all have some fatigue. So we're moving into our scavenging phase. It says up at top, it is safe to move around the city at night. Shots can still be heard, but only sporadically. You strap your backpacks on tightly and leave your shelter. Carefully, you pick your way through the ruined shops and houses that line the shelled streets. So the first thing we're going to go and do is choose a location. We can choose one of the 3 that were shown during the setup and move all the characters taking part in the scavenging to it. Note the rule on the red space of the location card, if there is one. So let's quickly take a look at all 3 of our locations. First, we've got the close, medium, and far, and it denotes these by the number of cards we're going to be able to use while we're exploring this area. The more cards you have, the more things you can explore and the more time you can spend there. We've looked at this one before, but I just again want to show it to you really quick. It's the ruined villa. And when we do go exploring, when we find some of the cards, they're going to tell us to roll on this special findings table. So if these are the kind of things we're looking for to help better our structure and also our survival, this might be the place we might want to go. Now, of course, you also want to pay attention to these, because if you don't have something that can get through these, you could get stuck in certain areas. We do have a shovel, which we might bring because it would help us get through the rubble if we decide to go there. The next one we have is going to be our warehouse. Now, of course, he might know a lot about this place because Boris was a warehouse worker. All right, let's see what it says here. It does say basement entrance, bars, and closed door. Now, we don't have a lockpick and we don't have any type of way of getting through the bars. But this special findings show that we could get a hatchet, canned food, which is probably one of the most important things in the game, weapon parts, and mechanical parts, and sugar. Also, of course, every card has this thing where you can give up some exploration cards to look around. So that is going to be our warehouse. And finally, we have our church. Our church is going to have a basement entrance, a closed door, and bars again. We don't have ways of getting through those. But you're able to maybe find some jewelry which you can use for trade. It's really good for trade. We also can find some alcohol, which, believe it or not, is also really good for trade. We could also return 6 exploration cards to just straight up trade. So this would be a good place to go if we had a lot of things that we might be able to trade for or with. So as it stands, I believe our ruined villa is going to be our best bet. So we're going to take our people and move them to the ruined villa. Now that we've chosen the location we've planned to go to, we need to choose the equipment we might want to bring. If there are any weapons like hatchets or pistols or knives, or equipment like lockpicks, saws, or shovels in the storage, you may assign these tokens to the scavenging party. Place them on the finding space. You may also take any tokens from the storage for possible trade. While the only one we have that I think is worth bringing is going to be that shovel, because we can get through the rubble if we find some. We do also have an electrical part, which we could potentially trade. It's worth 3, but it does cost 1 of our weight to carry, and we only have 9. So we're going to leave that behind for now, but we are going to take our shovel, which it does cost 1 weight, but I think keep bringing it with is going to be important. Next, we're going to go ahead and set the noise marker. Place the noise marker on space 1 of the noise track. You're always going to do this unless there's some circumstance that tells you to put it in a different place. Whenever the game tells you to raise or lower the noise, move the marker on the track either up or down respectively. When the game tells you to roll for noise, roll the black die. If the result is equal to or less than the current noise, an encounter is immediately triggered. Set the noise marker back to 1. Draw and resolve the top card from the resident deck. After resolving the resident card, resume scavenging. You might still meet someone else. So our noise marker is set to 1, and we're going to go ahead and take our shovel and put it right there so we know we've brought it with. Next, we're going to go ahead and prepare the unknown deck, and we're going to start exploring. We're going to draw as many exploration cards as shown on the location space of the location you have chosen to explore, which is going to be 14 for us because we're going for the close place. Place them face down in the unknown space without looking at the front. Now, resolve these cards one after another. Discard the resolved cards by placing them face up in the discard space on the board. After you resolve each card, the next player would go. So every person will get a hand in being able to do the exploration phase. When the game tells you to return the exploration cards, return them face down without looking at their fronts of the exploration deck. All items acquired during scavenging should be placed in the findings pile space. At the end of the scavenging phase, you will decide what to leave behind and what to bring back to the shelter. When the unknown deck is depleted, exploration automatically ends. Resolve the choose findings stage. So what this is telling us is we're going to go ahead, put 14 cards face down, and we're going to go through them and hopefully find some stuff to bring back with us. And once we're out of cards, we're going to be done with that exploration phase. It's kind of like a timer until the sun comes up. So we're going to go ahead and take 14 cards from our exploration deck. We're just going to mix them up a little bit. There we go. And we're going to take 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You might think that's a lot of cards, but you'll be amazed at how fast you go through these cards. So we've put them face down in the unknown space. But before we explore, we're going to stop for now. our characters have made it to the ruined villa, and we're going to see what we can find. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, subscribe, hit that bell symbol. You know when the next video comes. And I've already recorded the next one, so it's coming right on the heels of this one, so there won't be too much suspense. Please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. Thank you again for watching, and if you want to see what happens to us when we explore this villa, then I need you to meet me at the table.